I want to call to order the meeting of the Rutherford County Public Safety Committee for Monday, October the 27th, 2025. We'll begin with the approval of our minutes, and we'll ask that our Vice Chairman give us those minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have reviewed our minutes from the September 22nd meeting, and I have deemed them to be in order, so I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, minutes have been approved. Madam Secretary, do we have anyone for public comments?
No, ma'am. No, sir. Sorry.
No one here for public comments. We'll move right into our business, starting with PAWS with Mr. Michael Gregory.
Good evening. For the month of September, we had 468 animals come into the shelter. 84.4% were adopted or reclaimed, 6.1% were euthanized. Overall, our live release rate was 88.6% for dogs, 91.9% for cats, and when wildlife were included, it was 76.9%. For the month, we completed out 1,080 calls, traveling 7,515 miles. As part of our month of September, we did have a cruelty case that brought in 50 to 60 animals at one time, so that did put our numbers up a little bit for the month. Fiscal year to date, we've had 1,301 animals come into the shelter, a live release rate of 90.7%, euthanasia rate of 6%. Our officers have completed out a little over 3,400 calls, traveling 23,886 miles. For our rabies exposure and bite report, for the month of September, we had 21 bites reported. 2 of those were sent for testing. They came back negative. We had 7 other exposures. None of those were sent for testing. Last page of the report is just the graph that I give you all to show you the animal outcomes. And I did want to give a shout out for this month. The Correctional Work Center and Superintendent Cope helped us out on a couple of different occasions, one with a van so that we could send some folks to some training. And most importantly, though, was our dryer went down. We do a lot of laundry, and it was down for a couple of days. We washed stuff, took it over there, they dried it, they folded it, and sent it back to us. So I just wanted to say thank you to him for helping us out during that. That's my report, sir.
You've heard the report. Any questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? It has been approved.
Mr. Chairman. Yes. Mr. Gregory, just wanted to ask you about this time of year. I'm noticing more than the last recent years, I should say, both skunks and armadillos out in my neck of the woods. Okay. Is there a recourse on trying to minimize those is it just as needed for rabies checks?
Actually, they won't send those off for rabies unless there's been an exposure. So the only type calls that we handle on that are sick or injured wildlife. Ones that could be a rabies suspect, we would handle those. But just wildlife that's out running at large and roaming, that's just going to be normal. As the area has grown, we've pushed out into their habitat significantly. So there's a lot more limited places for them to be able to go.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. I do have a grant that I'd like to ask for permission to apply for and accept if approved. We did apply for this grant in 2024. It's the 2025 ASPCA National Shelter Grant Initiative. We're seeking to apply for $16,000 with no county match. The funds would be used to purchase some dog exercise equipment and some soundproofing for our dog adoption areas. Again, no county match.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It has been approved.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Risk management, and I believe we have Assistant Director Susan Thompson. Good evening.
Good evening. We're reporting on the month of September. We had 36 incidences. Of those 36 instances, there was 31 at the Board of Education, 5 at County General. Of those 5, there was 1 at EMS, 1 at Solid Waste, 1 at PAWS, and 2 at the Sheriff's Department. That brings our year-to-date incidents to 172. Of that 172, there was 128 OSHA recordable, with 30 lost day claims, 74 restricted day claims, and 24 other recordables. The reserves for the month is $71,815. That brings the year-to-date reserves to $831,280. Year-to-date, we have spent $354,122. Of the 172 claims, 101 are closed. There are currently 3 employees out of work and 20 on restricted duty, and that concludes my report.
You've heard the report. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Thompson, I was curious, when you said only 128 are recordable of the 172,
Yes.
does that mean that those differences were not necessarily OSHA violations?
Anything that is beyond first aid has to be recorded on your OSHA 300. So those different are ones that were nothing, were
So they
less
were
than first
minor.
aid. Yeah, they were just first aid or less, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion made to approve and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? It has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recovery Court, Michelle Ricks.
Good evening. This is the Recovery Court report for September. In our drug court program, we had 57 participants and 44 applications in progress. Mental health court, we had 58 participants and 46 applications. DUI court, we have 17 in our day and 26 in our evening and 24 applications. And in our veterans court, we have 23 participants with 16 applications. That brings our total to 181 total participants. We had 6 new, 11 graduates, and 0 terminations. And I wanted to point out that our next graduation will be for Veterans Court on November the 5th. And that concludes my report.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Report has been approved. I believe you have a budget amendment.
Yes, we do have a quick budget amendment. This is for the Reentry Career Training Grant. This grant is through the Department of Justice BJA grant. The purpose of this amendment is to reallocate funds to the other contracted services line to cover training and tuition for reentry participants who attend the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. This grant is extended through 9/30 of 2026, and it's a no-match grant that we have had. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Beverly?
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Oliver?
Aye.
Chairman Reed?
Yes,
Motion passes.
Thank you.
it has passed.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, moving right along, probation. Ms. Kelly Haley. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. You should have the report for probation for September. You can see on the report, we closed out a total of 249 cases during the month of September, which equaled 202 clients. At the end of the month, we were actively supervising 1,359 cases. There's a list of the programs that we offer actually in our office, the various classes. During the month of September, there were 62 clients enrolled in those classes, 33 successfully completed at some point during the month, and 8 were discharged unsuccessfully. In addition to that, that treatment staff did complete 41 drug and alcohol assessments and 4 mental health assessments. In our Ten Rocks court, there are currently 2 10 participants with 2 pending and acceptance on their next court date. There will be a graduation for that 10 Rocks Court in November. That'll be November the 20th at 2 p.m. in Judge Bennett's court. And there will be 3 clients that have been in the program for a year that will graduate that day. With our Olive Branch, we assisted 9 clients, or 9 people. They don't have to be clients of probation during the month. And if you'll remember last month, I brought some information. We were having a food drive. We did have a very successful food drive, so we have lots of non-perishable foods in that food pantry now for our clients or anyone that comes in that would need the help. On the bottom are our financials for the month of September. During the month, we sent $20,857 to the clerks to be put on payment plans. That brought the fiscal year total for that category to $65,276. The amount that we sent for clients that did not currently have a payment agreement were $8,714, which brought that fiscal year total to $20,747. That would be my report for September, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Ms. Haley?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
And have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the report, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, report has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Correctional Work Center. Good evening, Mr. Cope.
Good evening. First up, you'll see in your packet our Correctional Work Center Board County Corrections Partnership Committee meeting for Monday, October 6th. Next is the Work Release Program statistics. That program is still going very well. Continues to be the best one in the state. Next is our yearly activity report. Population is staying pretty steady. Next report is the trash that the offenders collected out on the state routes and county roads. County roads collected 12,320 pounds of garbage, and then on state routes they collected 381 bags. In the month of September, saved the county $66,976 using offender labor throughout the county. Next in that packet will be your CQI or medical stats. And that is the end of my report.
You've heard the report. Any questions?
Move for approval.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to point out, I'm noticing that again this month, although the head count's a little bit lower than last month, you've stepped up and made some accommodations and helped with some other numbers that we have, and yet your numbers on your overall breakdown seems to be right within margins or equalized. I just wanted to point out that that would indicate, in my opinion, that your staff is doing a very, very good job of maintaining your status quo, and I just appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you noticing that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the report, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, it has been approved.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Juvenile detention. Ms. Lynn Duke, I believe you have your report, and I believe you have a contract from Warren County.
I do. So in front of you this evening, you have our Juvenile Detention Center Board meeting minutes for September, followed by our activity report. You'll notice that there are a couple of counties that we are still waiting on checks for. That's not unusual. Usually this meeting comes before those checks have a chance to come in the mail, followed by detainees that were booked in and those who were released to a parent or guardian. Again, our STD report is still, that program is on hold per the state. They're working through some administrative changes that they need to make. And you will also find the facility programming and then lastly, that contract, which we might need to take separately. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them.
I have a quick question. You stated that you said the STD report is on hold by the state?
So the program is on hold.
Program.
We're continuing to provide that information because the first month, which was July on this annual report, they were still using the program in July, but since then, it's on hold. So that goes through the state health department, and they're working out some administrative issues that they've got with the program. And then if and when they start that back up, then we'll also do so. But right now, it's on hold.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
A motion to approve. And a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The report has been approved. Now we'll deal with the contract in Warren County.
So in front of you, you have our detention bed contract with Warren County. This is the same contract that we've been using that has the daily rate of pay at $200 per day per child. I think that many moons ago we did contract with Warren County, but that had since stopped, and they would like to begin contracting with us again. This contract has been through the county attorney's office, and it's the one that you've seen for the last couple of months.
A motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Oliver,
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes,
Motion passes.
motion passes.
If I may, I just wanted to, if you didn't know, I just wanted to share the information that JDC's chaplain, who the young kids called Pastor T, passed away recently, and his services were this weekend. And he was an amazing part of our team. He's going to be dearly missed by our staff and the youth that he was serving faithfully. I just didn't want to let tonight go without acknowledging that we have a big hole in our team and that he's going to be missed.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving now into emergency services, public safety report and radio system. Director Chris Clark. I think you've got a list of things, haven't you?
Chairman, we've got about 3 items. First is our report from September the 1st to September the 30th. I'd like to point out that you may not recognize it within the report, but we have 25 new volunteers that we've been training over the last month or so to occupy our shelters when we activate. So as EMS and fire received calls, somebody will be there that will kind of supervise all of the people attending the shelter during a potential tornado event. They've done CPR training. They have toured the stations. They've gone by dispatch, and we've showed them dispatch and how things operate. As any of our volunteers, they have to pass a background check, and they're well on their way in helping us. I'm hoping in the next couple of months and during public safety, with your permission, is to bring and introduce those 25 volunteers to Public Safety Committee, and we appreciate them. Second is we've had several response exercises with our public safety partners over the last month. Been extremely busy on response plans. And then last but not least, Tune In Tuesday with Lowe's, TEMA, and Smyrna Fire. And we gave out 35 weather radios for the first 35 that showed up, and then we helped program some weather radios for people that needed assistance, and they came to Lowe's, and we helped them with that. And that's my report, and I'll entertain any questions that you may have.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Director, how do you go about soliciting volunteers?
We actually put out a thing on an advertisement on Facebook, and they came in, and we were able to suit 25 volunteers. We've had a kind of a great outpour. What we find out is that a lot of people want to help, they just don't know how. And so this is a need that we have, and we hope that those volunteers progress to maybe help us with damage assessments, runners in the EOC during activation, and things like that. So it's just not just for shelters. I think this will gradually build into other things.
I think that's wonderful.
Any other questions on the report? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second. And a second. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? It is approved.
The second thing that I bring before you is how we operate our public health and safety centers during a activation. I don't necessarily think that it's a vote or anything. I just kind of want you to know how we provide assistance, when we provide assistance, and how we provide assistance. In those operations, there's some rules that we have generated, mostly are FEMA regulated, and wanted you familiar with all of those items that we have. Move on to the third.
Any questions on the rules that you have there before you? It's very detailed that what has been presented.
Where can the general public find this easily to be able to reference for their own knowledge?
We will post this here soon, but we wanted to bring it in front of you guys first and then send it out. And we'll have different public safety announcements throughout on social media and things like that.
Quick question. Are there alternate ways to complete the survey besides the QR code? Because sometimes in emergencies and weather things, your cell phone doesn't act right to scan a QR code.
Correct.
So do you have alternate means to do that?
So the goal is to as they come in and register to come into the shelter, there will be two ways. One is a QR code. And what happens is we can see how many occupants are in the shelter at any given time. We've done over 190 something since January. But they will have a manual sign in, and then those volunteers would report that back to Emergency Operations Center so we know how many people are occupied in each building. In the event that one of those buildings does get hit, we know how many occupants are in there.
If there are no questions, you can move on to your next topic.
The third item is a MOU to allow the mayor to execute a MOU between Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and Laverne for a unified dispatch study. The study in the MOU should not exceed over $35,000. All of this MOU has also been passed by the City of Laverne, Murfreesboro, and the Town of Smyrna through their council. And we do have that money in our budget.
Any-
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, clarifying EMA's budget.
Yes.
Any reason Eagleville's not part of this?
The Sheriff's Department and EMA dispatch their services.
It's already covered with y'all.
Correct.
Question. How do you know it's not going to go above 35K?
So we did,
And first, let me start by, I appreciate you sending this to us ahead of time.
yes, ma'am.
So that I actually had a chance to read it, and it's quite comprehensive. But I was curious about the budget, how you know it's not going to go over that.
So there was a proposal initially to find out how much that would cost. And that cost, split by 4 governments, would be the cost of about $22,000. However, we still have to work out our procurement procedures, being that there's 4 different entities involved.
Mr. Chair, has our legal team looked over this well already?
Yes.
We have the sheriff, morning, say something about it.
I don't want to rain on everybody's parade, but I guess I will. This subject came up about the fourth quarter of last year. I think Chris had called a meeting along with Murfreesboro to talk about consolidation, and that's what the issue here is, the consolidation of the PSAPs. When I found out what that meeting was about, I had concerns and went to the 911 executive director and then also went to the state of Tennessee. The ECD board 911 is the only one as a board that can consider consolidation. If it comes to a decision for consolidation, the board is the only one that can make that decision. Individual PSAPs cannot do that. It's against the law. Look at Chapter 7. Curtis Sutton was invited to a meeting on December the 13th to address this subject before the board. My interpretation of that meeting, others may have different, but I think he made it very clear that any discussion of consolidation where board members were present outside of a public meeting would possibly result in a violation and would need to be reported to the comptroller's office. I think he made it very clear in that meeting. So that's what I came away with. I am not in favor of this. I think we're treading on some dangerous ground. As a board member and president of that board, it would be my responsibility to report this, along with the executive director of 911. We have talked about this. We were excluded from this MOU thing. We found out about it by getting a copy of the one that Murfreesboro was getting ready to present. And that's how we found out that this had come back up again. So I would caution this commission to be very careful about what you're doing. I think we've seen the comptroller down here enough. And I don't want to be in position of having to report this because I think we're on some very dangerous ground here. So that's.
Thank you, sir. Is there questions for the sheriff?
Yes.
You have a question for the sheriff?
I had a question in general, whether the sheriff can answer it or not. Why is this being presented to us if it's against, sounds like code, law, I don't know what it's against. But where is is there a TCA code that tells us we can't do this or whatever the case may be?
I'm not sure I understood. Can you repeat? I'm
Yes, you're saying that we would be in violation by entering an MOU, and I'm just trying to clarify, where is that in writing? TCA, that's what I'm trying to find out. So then my second question would be, why is this being brought to us if it goes against TCA?
I still didn't understand. The total question was that Curtis Sutton is the director of the Tennessee 911 district. Oversees all the districts in the state of Tennessee. He's also an attorney. And that's why we called him down to get an interpretation of this, is I just felt like we were on some very shaky ground. And he made it, what I thought was perfectly clear, that any discussion where board members are present in a non-open meeting that could lead to a consideration or a conclusion to consolidate is outside the bound. It can't be done. The board is the only one. I'll also add that if the board, the 911 board, said we're going to consolidate, they cannot force anybody that has a PSAP to do that. So any PSAP could say, I'm not doing it, and by state law, they can't force it. So that's another piece of Title VII. So it's just for consideration.
Sheriff, I got a question. How do most, a county as big as we are, how do the rest of the counties running their PSAPs? Is this an isolated thing, or is it, what's the
How would the
percentages?
county run a PSAP?
I mean, what's the percentages across?
Well, the problem, though, is the cost of it. For number one, what you happen in a consolidation is it's going to have to be funded by the municipalities and the county to pay. The 911 board does not have that kind of funding. And in locations where they have, they want the board to pay for the salaries and everything, and they cannot do that. There's no fund. We'd bankrupt them in a month. There's no funding for this. The other problem you get into is, let's say each entity says we're going to fund X number of dollars. Every year that number changes, so they're going to have to come back before the commission for additional funding. You're not fixed cost. It doesn't stay fixed. So there's a lot of consideration to this and a lot of money. Basically, right now, we're virtually consolidated as we are. I mean, that's how it's with transfer of calls, but right now we're virtual by electronics, virtually consolidated as it is.
This is just the MOU though, right? That we would do a study of it, but you're saying that.
Well, they're going to enter into a study. You give them money, they're going to do a study. And if the entities are representatives from those entities who's representing board members of those entities is present, and it leads to a decision to consolidate, which has to come before the board because they're the only ones that can make that decision, then, according to what the director has said, that's a violation. Because the board is the only one that can make that decision. So they're the ones that should study it. It should come properly, should come before the ECD board.
So this should go before your board and you would vote on it and then it would come to us?
The board would have to, as a board, which is represented of 9 members, would then make a decision on whether to try to forward something like this or not. But as I see this is each city and each entity, which is made up of board members, coming to some conclusion outside of the board for consolidation, which I think, my personal opinion, is we're on dangerous ground. I think it's improper procedure.
Mr. Chair, for a refresher, who is on that board?
I can tell you. Myself, Michael Bowen, Chief of MPD, Chris Clark, Chief Brent Heiser from Eagleville, Chief Jason Urban from Smyrna, Chief Mark McCluskey, City Fire, Carl Hudgens, Citizen at Large, Brian Gaither, EMS, and Chief Muse from Laverne, which basically covers everybody. And there ends where the problem lies. So I just present that for consideration.
What I understand, what you say here on the memorandum is a study of the cities and the county. It's what is on this memorandum. If you'll look at who is signing it. That's what you've got here. And am I not right that this is just a study to see the possibility?
Yes, so it's a study. Checked with the ECD, our local ECD attorney prior to a meeting in September. He did not see any problem with that. Secondly, we've had interactions with the state ECD attorney, which wrote back to Jeff Peach, the Smyrna attorney, which says that TECB could not and would not prohibit an ECD, local government, emergency service provider, or any combination of those to conduct any independent study regarding the benefit, cost, etc. of a unified dispatch for their 911 operation. So, with that being said, speaking with these attorneys, we do not feel that that is some type of issue that would go along with having a study done for our county.
Mr. Chair, that's kind of where I am, is no one on the city councils or the county commission sit on that board. While it is a representative that I feel like that might fall under our purview of ensuring is the way we're doing it now the most efficient, or as a result of this study in some quasi-model, most efficient for tax dollars.
Correct.
And that's just kind of where I'm leaning. I don't, by no means is a yes vote tonight my indication of move towards unification or consolidation. It just moves towards, is this the or the route we want to take forward?
This is to see the study.
Correct.
And a study only. No actions would be except to provide and retrieve data and our current policies, procedures, and operations. How this all came about is that we've had different types of situations that come up with jagged city limits, multiple response from fire and EMS and several other things, call routing, many other things. And as we grow, it's going to only get worse. So we wanted to get a study how we can be more efficient, reduce response times, collaborate, coordinate, and be better for our citizens.
Question.
Yes.
I guess my concern is why spend the money for a study if legally we can't move forward on whatever comes out of the study?
We don't know that.
So then we need more information.
We know that probably 90% of the costs that are in each PSAP is ran by the municipalities. The ECD provides the hardware, the lines going into those facilities, and the applications that go along with that. We pay for our people, we determine each response plan, we determine how it's operated. This committee, this body here. So you pay for our dispatchers, you pay for everything, electricity, all of those kind of things. But we also oversee the response plans and our responses as well. We, as the municipalities, they've already voted this in for their part of it. I ask for you to do the same for us.
Mr. Chairman, when does the 911 board meet?
December.
Would it not be prudent for us to table this for 90 days to allow for that board to meet, discuss, and present back whether or not the study would be recommended or not? Because taking the sheriff at what he said, I'd hate to spend money on a study that violates Tennessee code or that we can't even use, or that leads us down to a path of spending unknown amounts of more money down the road once we do consolidate. So there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of potential improper procedure or so that's being discussed right now or so forth, or unknown improper procedure, I'd like to, perhaps we table this for 90 days. I would suggest that, and then maybe in that time frame, we can get through the board, or if not get through the board, we can at least have Nick, our county attorney, make sure that we are on legal ground, proper ground, without backpedaling ourselves.
Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, the only rebuttal I would have with that is this is just a study. So you're asking for more information that the study can't provide until we get it. I think the splitting hairs right now is one side says, what I'm understanding is there's one interpretation says it's okay and one interpretation says it may not be okay. So that's.
Well, I'm not going to put a down payment on a car if the person is not going to sell me the car. So I'd rather save the tax money and until we know for sure that we can actually have value out of it.
That doesn't match. This is a MOU to see if it's feasible for us to have a consolidated 911.
Specifically says $35,000 is our share for the study.
Correct. I will tell you that we've had multiple conversations concerning this with all entities that are involved, all of them. It's been going on since last September, trying to move forward to collectively just get a study. I think this is the first step of many that we need to consider, being that we need to have unbiased opinion and how we can be better, be more efficient.
Don't mistake, I'm in favor for wanting to do the study. I just don't want to risk wasting any money if we find out after the fact that we can't even do that or it's improper. So I'd like to find out once and for all, because I've got bodies of the same board kind of fighting back and forth if we're in right procedure or improper procedure, the unknowns, and I would just like to double check this, make sure we're on firm footing.
In fact, some of those representatives are here tonight with Murfreesboro and Smyrna, and collaborative effort on their part, and they have went on and signed that MOU. These issues have, they did not surface at their council meetings. So I ask that we allow the mayor to sign this study up to $35,000, which we have in our budget.
I guess comment, I don't know if this is a question. According to the names that were given that sit on this 911 board, you're one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
And several of you are. But the director of the board, we're being told, said we can't do this. So what is the discrepancy amongst yourselves as board members?
There's not. In fact, we're good.
Is Mr. Sutton available?
We're going to agree to disagree.
Is Mr. Sutton available to explain why he said we can't move forward with this? He's the director of the 911 board, is what you all just told us.
Do what? He's the chair. The sheriff is the chairman of the board. And there's an ECD director that operates.
But that director.
And that's Sutton, right? Curtis Sutton is the ECD?
Ms. Cassie Lowry. Yes.
So someone's here that can answer the question, is what I'm asking.
Sure.
I think you're speaking of Director Lowry.
I don't have a name. That's what I'm asking.
You're talking about Director Lowry. Is that?
Come on up.
We'll suspend the rules for the director to come forward this time. That's agreement with all commissioners.
I have Director Lowry for the Rutherford County Emergency Communications District Office.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned Director Sutton. He is the director of the Tennessee Emergency Communications State Board that oversees the 911 districts. He came to our December meeting, if that's what you're referring to.
Right. And so according to what we just heard from the sheriff, Curtis Sutton says that a collaboration can't occur.
There could be no collaboration outside of an open meeting amongst the board members. They have to have the agreement upon the board. What needs to happen is they need to go before the board, ask the board to vote as to whether or not they wish to consolidate, because any kind of discussion outside of that is a violation of the Open Meetings Act, and the district board has direct control over the 911 call by TCA code.
So this was created at the last board meeting then?
December, I believe it was. I'd have to look at my dates to tell you which one it was. Was it December? I think it was the December board meeting that Director Sutton was at.
I believe so. I think you're correct. But we're not, and no, we're not asking to consolidate tonight. We're asking to gather data, gather information, to make a decision later on, a year from now, 2 years from now, since we're trying to gather that information. We come from before you to ask you to allow the mayor to sign this and execute this MOU.
I get that. You want to do a study to see what would happen if the agencies consolidated.
Yes, we're not, there is.
But
no
then
way.
on the other hand, you're saying, or not you, but it was said that we can't consolidate. So I'm saying, why do a study if TCA said we can't consolidate? If that's what I'm hearing.
Once we receive the study, then we would come up before you and also the 911 board once we've gathered that information.
But the authority rests with the 911 board.
The authority, according to their attorney, does not, that any emergency service, local government, emergency service provider, or in the combination can conduct a study.
Correct, but the
In writing.
actual decision resulting from the study rests with 911. Anybody can request a study, which is
Correct.
why we're here, and this did not originate from the 911 board. It originated from the municipalities and county government.
Correct.
Which, to do a study, which is within their purview based on your statement from ECD. However, if this study comes back and recommends consolidation or not, that does not fall to us. That falls to the 911 board and them alone, correct?
They would be part of it.
Yes.
The discussion of a study came up during that meeting, and Director Sutton cautioned the board members of any collaboration outside of an open meeting, said discussing the study or anything thereabouts. Because again, it's something that it will be deliberated by those board members in an open board meeting. So collaboration amongst those directly and or indirectly is cautioned upon, and that's why they recommended that the board have a vote on the study. I'll leave it to the chair.
Well, I get, it's confusing, and I know it is. The understanding of how it's stated is that any study that could lead to a conclusion that has to be presented to the board has to be in an open meeting, and it's only a decision that can be made by the board of directors of the ECD 911. So the caution is to do a study that could lead to a recommendation outside of the board would be in violation.
So what's the sense of urgency for this study?
Sorry.
I was just asking, what's the sense of urgency for this study here and now?
I have no idea.
And you meet in a month.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question. If I'm assuming this is correct, everybody else has signed off on this except for the county. So this will go before us tonight, and then it'll go on to the commission, correct?
Yes, it has to go to commission.
And you guys meet at the 911 board when?
December.
Not until December. There's not a November meeting?
sorry?
There's not a November meeting?
it wouldn't go before the county commission then until January, because we wouldn't meet till the end of December.
That's why I was thinking of tabling it till January, so we have it for first thing after the board has a chance to review, make sure that they get their vote and they're lined up on this, and then we go.
My only concern is this, and why my cautioning is I thought it was very clear what the Curtis Sutton said. And that was the reason, because this discussion came up the latter part of last year, and that's why Curtis Sutton was invited to the December last year meeting to discuss this very issue, which I thought he did a very adequate job in discussing the ramifications. So my purpose tonight is proceed with caution, because I think there is a question here that could lead to something we don't want to go to. So the proper procedure for this would be to come before the ECD board for a study and for a consolidation. The individual municipalities is not the place to do that. And that's simply what I'm saying, is I think we need to proceed with caution. Is that anything to add? Okay, thank you.
I'll go ahead. I see where they're coming from. However, I do feel like we're within the municipality and county government purview to pursue the study. But again, the decision falls with the EC, with the 911 board. I would stop short, proceed with the study, but stop short of making any formal recommendation, but at least authorize the study and at least get the ball rolling on if this is direction we need to go. We have a lot of stuff coming before us in the next 8 months in regard to a reassessment year. It would help get us an idea and get the ball rolling. That's where my position is.
I'll second it for discussion.
I'll make that a motion then. I'll make that a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
I'll second for discussion. About 2008, I was on the commission, and we were part of UASI, and we were looking at swapping from the low band to the 800 system, and Homeland Security was giving out money yearly that we still go to today, not maybe as much as we got back then, but they did. They put out a stipulation that they wanted to start seeing programs, not toys. And I went to town attorney in Smyrna. I was working at Smyrna at the time, and I went down and we got bushwhacked down there, and we got voted off their board, and it was a big toy grab. They were buying gators for football games and everything else, and we were trying to get an 800 megahertz system. So I don't know if UASI, this is a part of that. I know I'm highly in favor of us getting a new jail, and I think part of that jail is going to be a PSAP and what kind of money we put into that PSAP. So if this part fits into that somewhere, I think it'll work. I'm okay with the study. If it's after everybody signs it and it's a signed agreement that goes back to the 911 board in December and they vote it yes or no, then it's signed by all the municipalities, it goes forward, or it's dead on the table over there. But I want to see the jail sooner, not later. We worked on the jail when I was here 15 years ago, and here we sit 15 years later still not with Sheriff Fitzhugh not having the jail that he's obviously need. I think there's still over 1,000 prisoners today in a jail that's supposed to have 800, so it's not going away. So I second it, and I move for the committee just to move forward for the study only. That way we know cost-wise where we're going to sit with this, and then probably tie into where we're at as far as the jail.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I just don't agree with the sequencing. I feel like we should recommend this go to the board. And then after the board has their vote on it, comes back, and then we move. I don't see any reason why this will fail afterwards, but beforehand, the idea of risking putting money up that could not be spent or be wasted because the board decides to cancel it or go, or it's improper procedure. That's my caution. That's my urge for caution on that.
Other discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
No.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Oliver,
No.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving now in the emergency medical service, Mr. Gaither.
Good evening. For the month of September, we had 3,827 calls, 8 hospital transfers, response time of 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Had 142 deaths for the month, 17 of those went for autopsies. We collected $828,160. The bottom of that page is the mileage for the month. Next page is in-services and training, community relations, and other special events standbys. Convalescent division did 333 calls, collected $119,314. And then the next few pages is the more detailed report, and that is my report.
Move for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Your report has been approved. I believe you have a budget amendment.
Yeah, we're requesting to move $60,000 out of our assigned fund balance into our in-service and staff development. This is for internal paramedic scholarships that we're using this year. We have 8 people that we're paying to go to school this year. And with that scholarship, they're signing a 3-year agreement to stay with us. We went for a few years and didn't have a whole lot of people applying for this. And as you know, you've heard me up here before talking about paramedic shortages. We're in a good spot right now. So last year we were able to pay for 11 to go, and this year is with 8.
What schools are most of them going to?
Most of ours are going to Columbia State or Motlow. The other semi-local one is Vol State, but we don't have a whole lot of people that are going to those. And then, you know, if they're able to go directly out of high school, Tennessee Promise covers all of it. And then, you know, some of ours are adult learners, so Tennessee Reconnect is an option. So we explore all of those options before we offer the scholarship, or they come to us requesting the scholarship.
What kind of contract do they sign in order to get the scholarship?
Yeah, so it's an agreement more so than a contract.
Semantics.
Yeah, but it's 3 years. They have to stay with us for 3 years, and if they leave within that time frame, then it's a proration of how long they were there that they have to pay us back. And out of all we've been doing this scholarship since probably somewhere around 2010. I think we've only had a couple that didn't work out their agreement.
So it's just employment, but not any type of performance level or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner James? Yes. Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Oliver?
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly?
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Chairman Reed?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, ready for fire and rescue? Chief Farley, you know, we were rolling there pretty fast there all of a sudden, and then Chris Clark just drove us right off in the ditch. So now you got to get us back on the road here.
No, we were going to graduate 13 of our firefighting recruits. We hired 14. We're going to graduate 13 of them on November the 14th at 10 a.m. at Agrelane Park Community Center. It'd be I think that's the biggest building in the back, but it'd be November 14th, 10 a.m. at the Agrelane Park Community Center. And I'm going to invite y'all to attend that if you have the opportunity. For the month of September, we ran a total of 720 calls. Year to date, we've ran 6,293 calls. 601 of those were MVAs, 20 were extrications. Countywide, we have a total of 78 structure fires, 79 brush fires, 69 illegal burns, 58 vehicle fires, 13 water rescues, 709 MVAs total, 20 of those extrications, and for a total of 7,006 calls for the year to date. And then the next page showing the damaged structures that were damaged by fire. The next page is the fire marshal's report of their investigations. Two of our inspectors spent 2 weeks down in Hickman County helping with the bomb explosion and part of that investigation. And the last page is we had 12 smoke alarm installations for the month of September, and that concludes my report.
Questions on the report?
Move for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I had a couple questions on it. Just noticing through looking at it, a couple of months ago, we had that breakdown that I had asked for. You provided. It's great, but I haven't seen it. And I was hoping by now I'd have a quarter worth to kind of compare numbers, but I don't have that. I'm just, I guess, wanting to remind.
You don't have what?
The breakdown per facility that we had. Your office provided it once, I want to say 3 months ago.
You want that every month?
I was hoping to. I was hoping to build a coalition over quarter and annual.
I don't understand your need for that. What are you trying to accomplish?
To get the validate the numbers, to get to look at the dispatching, to get to look at the breakdowns of everything, of each affected areas of the county for where we're at, so we can plan for future growth accordingly, or we can plan for other needs that we need as expenses rise. It's a wealth of information to have, and I'd rather have too much than.
So you want it every month?
I was hoping to. I thought that was understood, but.
No.
No, I just wanted to point out, I appreciated seeing it 2 months ago, but I hadn't seen it since, so I was just wanted to ask.
I'll give it to you every quarter.
It was,
Every
the
quarter?
discussion was it was going to be every quarter that he was pulling more because he was pulling all that from the CAD.
Okay.
That's where it's coming from.
At this point, I'll settle for every quarter. I was hoping to see more sequencing than just that one blurb of it, so I appreciate that. Also looking at this report, I was looking at Christiana and Eagleville don't have any training hours listed.
They don't, I write down what they provide me.
Okay, that's just.
They have a sheet they turn in every month. They're supposed to have their runs broken down in where the MVAs, structure fires, whatever the call may be, and then they put down their training hours. And let's see what else is on that page. Yeah, they provide them, if they provide them, I document them, but most of them don't even document them. And pretty much Eagle told me they weren't going to give me any information except for the run numbers.
The rest of the numbers were filled in except those boxes were empty, so I was just.
Pardon?
The rest of the numbers were filled in except those 2 boxes were empty, so I was just asking if maybe.
Yeah, which shows our training, and I think Amble turned in their training. Month before last, I didn't even get a report from Amble. So.
And then I know a couple of weeks ago on Burnt Knob, there was extraction that was done. I saw
extrication?
Extrication, excuse me. And I saw some of the Facebook pictures, and I really appreciate what y'all do with that. I'm only wondering that when the other entities are there, because I know Amble was called in, they showed up right next to, and then canceled en route, turn around. What dictates, and this is where I'm just trying to understand and clarify, and that's kind of that last page reminded me of it. What dictates when they're there on site, not aiding for the situation versus going ahead and turning around, like when they're right there versus still 5 miles out, 10 miles out, et cetera?
Well,
so how's that decision made?
The decision made is anytime we have NVA in Amble's area, they dispatch to Engine 60 and have Rescue 60, which is over on Fortress. And and we beat them to the scene, a lot of times if they're going en route, we've already got the person extricated in the ambulance, there's no need for them to respond. And so if we're fixing to clear this, if we're about to clear the scene and they're going en route, we just cancel them because there's no use in them coming because the time we get there, everybody else will be gone.
Just trying to get better understanding of it. That scenario just happened right in my backyard, so to speak. So I was able to see it and wonder why. And the last page of the report reminded me of that moment.
They get paged out at the same time that our engines get paged out. And to be honest with you, I think this month, they recorded 40 MVAs, and I checked it by the CAD, and they only responded to 5 of them. So, but like I say, it's a volunteer system. If they have people available, they respond. If they don't, they don't.
Chief, I just want to commend your group as well. October the 3rd, I ride horses over on the Stones River quite often. And, we keep the trails over there clean, and unfortunately, a lady had a fall over there and a head injury. I think ground bees got over her and her horse, and they called me looking for a key to get in the gate, and I missed the call, and by the time I called them back in about 5 minutes, your guys had already cut that lock and were headed in there. So they did what I would have done, but I
we have some of those Can-Am side-by-sides. For that purpose, they go out and in the woods and then retrieve somebody to haul them out, and we've been on the ringway out there in those parks several times.
Well, I just appreciate their service and getting out there. She's quite complimentary of you guys as well.
Appreciate that.
Other questions? All those in favor of the report, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Report has been approved.
Oh, and Chief, one last thing, just wanted to say, it was good to see you.
Pardon?
I just wanted to last minute say, it was good to see you and your crew out there Saturday. It was a good event. Everybody was out there. It was very nice to see your team out there really showing up for the community.
Yeah, and since you brought that up, I want to brag a little bit. We actually beat Murfreesboro in the extrication challenge this week. We had the car completely disassembled before they ever took the roof off, so we did good this year.
All right. Ready for the sheriff's office? All right, Chief. I think you've got also 3 budget amendments?
Yes, sir. I won't be long. Good evening. Go over our some line items with you. Our overtime on the sheriff's office line item, we've used 49.98% of that line item. Our in-service training, we used 27.25%. Our contract with other agencies, we've used 33.45%. Our gasoline, we've used 37.26%. Our law enforcement supplies, we've used 14.42%. Our uniform line item, we've used 57.35%. On the jail side, on our overtime, we've used 67.46%, and that's due to the opening positions that we have back there. Our in-service training, we've used 51.37%. Our food service supplies, we've used 37.47%. The law enforcement supplies, we still have 100% of that line item. That's the end of my report, sir.
You've heard the report. Any questions on the report?
I have a question.
Okay.
I guess the study that's emailed to us.
Yes, sir.
On the narcotics division totals, it shows 0 overdoses and 0 deaths
Yes, sir.
across
And
the entire
that's the month of September.
month of September?
Yes, sir.
Across the county?
Yes,
The entire
sir. Well,
county?
just the sheriff's office.
Sheriff's Office, okay.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I have another follow-up question. How many openings do we have for our school resource officers currently?
We currently have 4, but we have 3 in the background stage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I do have some questions. Not necessarily about your report, but some questions are still lingering regarding 287G. And I have constituents that have concerns that have sent a few questions that I'd like to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
The first question is, why was the agreement entered into in the first place? Considering that we were told that it was not but it was entered on August 8th, and why did we have to do the 287G, which is different than the other ICE agreements that we've been involved in?
Well, first, we explained that we signed a mutual agreement, and everybody else thinks we signed a contract. We did not sign a contract. And again, we've been doing immigration since 1996. The warrant service is speeding up the process. It's allowing our staff to sign the detainers to get them by the service, to get them out of the jail and see if they're going to be deported or not.
So you said it's not a contract, it's a mutual agreement. What's the difference in the language?
A contract, the MOU, we're allowed, we can get out of it if we want to. A contract is signed, it has to be a mutual agreement between both parties to break.
So the MOU can be, you can get out of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Considering the, I guess, backlash, maybe for a better word, about us being in that agreement, has there been any consideration to withdraw from the agreement, as other entities have across the state?
No, ma'am. We're not out enforcing immigration. We're only processing when they get detained in our correction facility. Everybody that comes in our facility, they're run through our National Crime Information Center. If you're wanted out of California for a warrant, we have to run people, and then we have to act on that. The same thing with the ICE and immigration. We have to act on that. If we're not doing this agreement or not, it's still our job is to enforce the law.
Okay. And so there's no, you said no actual enforcement, or you're not going out searching or profiling or anything
No,
for
ma'am.
certain individuals?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then this other question I had questions that were emailed to me, so I apologize. My phone just went down. Okay. What are the costs associated with?
There's no cost.
So there's no cost associated with having these individuals in our system, in our prison, and then having them transported. There's no cost to the county.
That's the reason signing the warrant service, to get them out of there quicker than keeping us from detaining them.
So we don't have a cost associated with
No,
this,
ma'am.
what you're saying?
No.
Okay. And then the other question was, could any data related to that be shared in your monthly public safety reports?
I'd have to get with my IT department, see if they could run a report.
Okay. Those were questions that were sent to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the report?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second? Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The report has been approved. I believe you have some budget amendments.
Yes, sir. This first one's for drug fund. This amendment is to appropriate money from the restricted for public safety to move funds into the drug fund data processing equipment, asking for $175,000 from the restricted for public safety and placed into data processing equipment.
You've heard the request.
Move to approve.
Motion
Second.
approved. Second. Further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Oliver,
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next one.
This amendment is being requested for the financial year 23, the virtual reality de-escalation grant from the Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistant Grant to the Sheriff's Department. This amendment will reallocate rollover funds from last year's funds from travel to pension. This is a no-match grant and ends September the 30th for 2026, asking to take the $3,014 from the federal revenue and place it into the pension line item.
Heard the request.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Oliver,
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And one more.
This amendment is to recognize revenue and expenses for the financial year 25 COPS Universal Hiring Program Grant. Rutherford County will hire 6 deputies to develop a highly visible and proactive highway safety unit. This is a 50-50 match, a 3-year grant. We're asking to receive the $250,000 for this year from the grant, $208,033 from unassigned fund balance, and placing $380 into the salaries, $20,546 into the Social Security line item, $40,925 into the pension, $59,783 into the employee and dependent insurance, $594 into disability insurance, and $4,805 into the Medicare.
Heard the request.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve. Second. Any discussion?
Question. You said it's a 50-50,
Yes, ma'am.
but you're asking for 250,000,
That's from the grant.
and you're asking,
$208,033 from unassigned fund balance. The first year would be 45.17%, the second year would be 51.91%, and then the third year would be 52.75%. It's got different percentage as it goes through the third year.
and these funds will come out of your budget?
The grant money come from the federal, and the 208.33 come out of the unassigned fund balance.
You're fine, okay. That's your budget, right? Unassigned fund, that means your budget, right?
It's the general fund budget. Next year, we'll budget in our regular budget. This year, we need it out of unassigned fund balance.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Oliver,
Aye.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I have one more request. We're requesting to reclassify an open captain's position on the sheriff's office side, reclassifying it to 2 positions, a lieutenant in the booking room area and a legal secretary on the sheriff's office side. I spoke to Director Smith. We should have the money within our budget for the reclassification. Unable to give you dollar amounts tonight because we haven't interviewed for these positions. We want to get it approved to do the reclassification and then do the interviews.
Question. Okay, so you say you don't know the cost, but you should have the money in the budget. If you don't know the cost, how do you know whether you do or don't have the money in the budget?
Comparing the current captain's position opening, and then comparing to at least a 5-year experience lieutenant and a 5 years legal secretary, it should be enough. I don't want to sit here and say that we do and something happens.
And if it's not enough, then does it mean you got to come back?
That's up to y'all. But we will have the money in our budget.
Can you explain where you need one less captain and why you need the extra lieutenant, the extra legal, what that balance is?
This captain retired from our IT department, and we have another person that moved in that's been a captain. So we want to utilize this to make 2 positions that would be beneficial to us at the sheriff's office.
But we won't see, I mean, I can just see next year adding a whole new captain's position versus the split, which I guess would be splitting.
Yes, we won't ask for the captain position
So
back.
you're
Yes, sir, we're going to stay like this.
leveling it out and minimizing the top brass.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm connecting.
Yes, sir.
Heard the request.
Move for approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Oliver,
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly. Yes. Chairman Reed.
Yes,
Motion passes.
Thank you.
it does pass.
I have one question. That last amendment, do you want the email sent to you of these roads that we want these deputies to go to work traffic? Or you want those to go to the sheriff?
We'll use our reports. But last month, we had 117 accidents, and that's what we're trying to do, is cut down on accidents. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Chairman, before he goes, I wanted to mention again on Saturday at this event with the first responders, and they had a booth out there, the sheriff did, and they had this event. I rarely get to see some of our grants that come through and see it in works, in actions, and I wanted to highlight this. I met Ms. Harness out there, and actually maybe you could speak a little bit more on this than I, but she provides, it's a state grant, little goodie bags for all the deputies to take out with them. And inside of them, and I'm going to miss several of these items, but there's a autism kit, anxiety support kit, hygiene kit, snack pack, resource material pack, homeless necessities pack, some additional little knickknacks for them. There's a breakdown of what they need. I'll leave this and pass this around for you other commissioners to kind of dig through and look at. But it was, I was very surprised and very welcomed to see the end result of some of these grants that we threw. Because you can read it and see it, but when you actually see it in place, it really puts a different, but that's me, I'm a visual person.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to show gratitude and appreciation to these individuals that you have doing these events, and actually just show my respect for the fact that
Yes, sir.
seeing it come through. And if there's anything you could do to help do this more justice than I'm able to speak
Yes,
about.
sir. They come from our community engagement unit, and they are applied for grants every year, and it's diverse, that they can handle any, like the homeless or the autism and so forth. So it's unified for anybody that might be having some issues.
And I believe that this position was created by this grant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Maybe in the future, we can ask some of these people that are coming in with these grants down the road to kind of come in and kind of, like we do in the full commission, kind of introduction to them. Maybe we can let them come in and kind of speak for different roles that they're doing, whichever department they might be part of. I think it'd be helpful to really see, at least for me, it was helpful to see that personal touch kind of right there in front row in your face with it.
Yes, sir. And educate y'all and the community that's watching public safety meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. We're in other business now. That you have something, I believe?
I had one comment I wanted to make, and I appreciate you, Chairman, for allowing me to. Before I came up here, I was cleaning out a pumpkin so my son could carve it, and I realized that I'm in the the last few years, he's in high school and he's my youngest, and this last few years of kind of getting the pumpkin carved and getting it set up for him. And I was thinking about someone I had met not too long ago, Mr. Isbell and his family. And several years ago now, he lost his son, who my wife was actually one of his teachers at the middle school, while he was trick-or-treating, got a hit and run. And so I wanted to, with Halloween right around the corner, if for nothing else than your own friends, your own neighbors, your own family, and the memories of Isbell family and others that have had these issues, if we can just remind people, use this venue and any venue we have, to be cautious, to drive slow, to, the old, I'm military, so the old saying, stay alert, stay alive. And just slow down and let the trick-or-treaters have their night. So I just want to remind everybody, Halloween's right around the corner. Stay safe.
Thank you, and thank you for that reminder. There's no other business. We are adjourned.